Hi students, welcome to Narayana live classes. Today for class 10 students we are going to discuss assignment 9 on binomial theorem. Now let us see the first question. The first question is if x is equal to 2 plus root 3 whole power n where n is a natural number and f is equal to x minus step x, that is otherwise said to be a fractional function, fractional part of x, then f square by 1 minus f is. We are given four options. The first option is an irrational number, second option is a non-integer rational number, third option is an odd integer, and the fourth one is an even integer. Now let us solve this question. Solution, let us start with. We are given x as 2 plus root 3 whole power n. And again f is given as x minus step x. So x can be written as f plus step x, that is equal to 2 plus root 3 whole power n. Let us consider it as condition number 1. Similarly, here f is said to be x minus step x, that is otherwise we are calling it as fractional part of x. Therefore, we can say one more condition here, that condition is 0 less than f less than 1. This is also a very important condition for us. First condition is f plus step x we are taking, and similarly we are trying to see that 0 less than f less than 1. Next, let us take capital F as 2 minus root 3 whole power n. Let us assume capital F as 2 minus root 3 whole power n. Here we all know that root 3 value is 1.732 approximately. So 2 minus root 3 is a value more than 0 but less than 1. So I can say 0 less than capital F is less than 1. Let us take this as condition number 2. This entire thing as a condition 2. Now let us try to see f plus step x plus capital F. Already we have seen x plus step x as f plus step x as 2 plus root 3 whole power n as condition 1. Now again we are going to see capital F as we have assumed that capital F as 2 minus root 3 whole power n, and we concluded that 0 is less than f less than 1. Now f plus step x plus f, let us observe. F plus step x is nothing but 2 plus root 3 whole power n, and capital F is nothing but 2 minus root 3 whole power n. So it's in the form of x plus y whole power n plus x minus y whole power n. So here all the terms will have positive sign, whereas here alternative terms will have plus and minus. So if you sum up these two expansions, we are going to have 2 times of nc0 into 2 to the power of n plus nc2 into, because nc1 here have positive sign, the second term, what I mean to say, second term here will have negative sign. So both are equal in magnitude, so they cancel with one another. So we have nc2 as the next term now into 2 to the power of n minus 2 into root 3 whole square, that is 3 plus so on. So that is otherwise 2 times of, here nc0 is going to be an integer value, of course it is 1. 2 power n, as n is an even number, n is a natural number, 2 power n is also an integer. nc2 n into n minus 1 by 2, n being a natural number, nc2 is an integer value. 2 power n minus 2, n is an integer, n is a natural number again. So this value also integer. 3 is of course an integer value. So the value of this entire value, the entire expression is going to be an integral value. So we are going to have it as 2 times of integer value. 2 times of integer value is what we can say as even integer. So f plus step x plus capital F we can say as an even integer. Now so what we have now, f plus step x plus capital F is equal to even integer. That's okay. Now we have 0 less than small f less than 1 and 0 less than capital F less than 1. We have these two conditions. In the first case, we have seen 0 less than small f less than 1 because of being a fractional part of x. We know the range of it. And 0 less than capital F less than 1. Now let us sum up these two values. If you sum up these two values, we are going to have 0 less than f plus capital F is less than 2. 0 less than f plus capital F is less than 2. So here, if you look at this, f plus step x plus capital F is an even integer, and we have 0 less than f plus capital F is less than 2. If you observe these two, step x is always an integer value. Step x always represents an integer. So f plus f must be integer, then only sum of two integers becomes integer, whether it is even integer or odd integer. If you want to have the result as an integer is to be added up with integer again. So in that context, f plus f becomes an integer. As it is an integer, the only integer between 0 and 2 is 1. Therefore, small f plus capital F is going to be 1. Thereby, we can say capital F is equal to 1 minus small f. This result is a useful result for us. Now, let us take f plus step x times of capital F. Let us multiply. In the earlier case, we have added up. Now we are going to multiply them. So what is f plus step x for us? 2 plus root 3 whole power n times of 2 minus root 3 whole power n. That is going to be 2 plus root 3 into 2 minus root 3 because both have the same powers. So we can multiply these two. The bases can be multiplied. 2 plus root 3 into 2 minus root 3 is going to be 4 minus 3. That is going to be 1. So 1 power n is going to be 1. So f plus step x into capital F is going to be 1. Now, okay, now let us see that. So we have the results that we write now. We have capital F plus small f as 1. The next result is step x plus capital F times of this capital F is equal to 1. These two results we have. We are going to make use of them. Now, in this case, step x plus small f is going to be 1 by capital F. That is otherwise 1 by capital F is nothing but, if you look at f plus capital F is 1, capital F is 1 minus f. So we can write it as 1 minus small f minus f, that is nothing but step x. That implies step x is going to be 1 minus, let us multiply, take LCM, then what do you have? 1 minus f square, 1 minus f plus f square upon 1 minus f. Okay, that is going to be, if you split them, 1 minus f by 1 minus f is 1 plus f square by 1 minus f. Okay, now we want f square by 1 minus f. That is going to be step x minus 1. We have f square by 1 minus f is step x minus 1. Now what is the value of step x? If you observe, f plus step x plus capital F is even number. Now we know that f plus capital F is 1. So step x is equal to even number minus 1. That is nothing but odd number. That is nothing but odd number. So we have f square by 1 minus f is step x. Step x is an odd number minus 1. Either odd number minus 1 or odd number plus 1 is always an even integer. So here it is going to be odd integer minus 1. So that is going to be even integer. So for this question, we are given 4 options. In the 4 options, The fourth option is an even integer. That is the right option for this particular question. So what is the way we solved it? Initially we started with x is equal to 2 plus root 3 whole power n. Then by using f as x minus step x is given. By that we wrote f plus step x as 2 plus root 3 whole power n. Then we assumed capital F. Then we added up f plus step x with capital F, and we multiplied f plus step x with capital F. Thereby we got conclusion that f square by 1 minus f is an even integer. Okay. Now let us move to the next question. The next question is the number of rational terms in the expansion of 1 plus root 2 into cube root 3 whole power 6. The number of rational terms. This is important for us. Okay. So options are given as 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now let us see this. Let us take the general term by using multinomial theorem concept. General term in the given expansion is, we know that based on multinomial theorem we can take it as 6 factorial by a factorial into b factorial into c factorial into 1 power a into root 2 power b into cube root 3 power c. This is a general term of a multinomial. That is, otherwise we can say as, here of course we can say one statement, that is a plus b plus c put together must be 6. A plus b plus c sum up to 6, that is equal to the power of the multinomial, and 0 less than or equal to a comma b comma c less than or equal to 6. ABC values must lie between 0 and 6. It can't be beyond 6 or less than 0. Now we can simplify this. This is otherwise 6 factorial by a factorial into b factorial into c factorial into 1 power a. Anyway we can neglect that, but still let us write 1 power a into 2 to the power of b by 2 into, it is 3 power 1 by 3. Cube root 3 is 3 power 1 by 3. So 3 power 1 by 3 whole power c is 3 to the power of c by 3. Now the point is we have to get a rational term. Rational term means what? This b by 2 must become an integer value. C by 3 must become an integer value. Then only the entire value becomes a rational part. If b by 2 is not integer, it becomes an irrational part. Similarly, if c by 3 is not an integer, that part becomes a irrational part. So that is not a rational term at all. So we have to take care in such a way that b by 2 is going to be an integer and c by 3 is going to be an integer. It means whatever value of b we take, that must be a multiple of 2. Whatever value of c we take, that must be a multiple of 3. So we have to assume the values of a, b, c which are satisfying those conditions. Now let us see what are the probable values of such a, b, c. What are those values? Let us take those values. What is the general term we have? 6 factorial by a factorial, b factorial, c factorial into 1 power a into b power, sorry, here itself let us take. General term we have 6 factorial by a factorial into b factorial into c factorial into 1 to the power of a into 2 to the power of b by 2 into c to the power of, it is 3. 3 to the power of c by 3. This is a general term for us. Now what are the possible values of a, b, c? Possible a, b, c. Let us start with, as I told you, let us take the multiple of b as 0. B as 0. 0 is a multiple of 2. If b is 0 and let us take c as 0, both can be 0. In that case a value becomes 6. This is one possible value. Next, if at all you take b as 0 C can be 3, then A can be 3 because 3 plus 3 put together 6. Now, if you take B as 0, the other possibility for C is it can be 6 because 6 by 3 is 2, that is an integer, and then A will be 0. So 600, 303, 006 are the possible values. Now, if at all B you take as, there is no other provision here, only multiples of 3 are possible to take here in the case of 6. 0 we have taken, 3 we have taken, 6 we have taken. So that is the end, we cannot take any other values. Now let us take B value as 2. If B is 2, I can take C as 0, yes, it is a multiple of 3, then 2 we have, so A must be 4. A is a leftover value, A can take any value, no issue for A. Only the issue is there for B and C. So we have to take care of B and C. Then automatically A will be adjusted according to the condition A plus B plus C is equal to 6. Now, what is the next value? Let us take this as, if you take this as 2 and if you take this as 3, yes, it is a multiple of 3, then this possible value for A is 1. So how many values are possible now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any other possibilities? Let us see. Next possibility, let us take B as 4. If we take B as 4 and then we can take C as 0, then A will be 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th possibility. Next possibility, let us suppose this is 4. Next 240 is possibility that is considered. Any other possibility? Let us see. Yeah, if you take B as 6, this as 0 and this is 0 is a possibility. Yes, because B by 2, 6 if you take B value as 2, that is B by 2 is 6, that is, sorry, 3, that is possible value, then 0, 0 is possible values for A and B. So if you look at that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possibilities. So in all these 7 cases, we are going to have the terms as rational terms in the expansion. So no need to write them, this is so we can understand. So there are 7 terms which are rational in the given expansion. Okay, now let us move to the next question. The next question is the coefficient of A cube, B power 4, C power 5 in the expansion of BC plus CA plus AB whole power 6. So here also we'll start like this. Let us start the solution. Here also we have to take the general term, that is otherwise 6 factorial by, this time let us take R factorial, S factorial, T factorial, because already ABCs are involved in the question. So let us take RST into BC to the power of R, CA to the power of S, AB to the power of T. Okay, that is a general term. So again we can take as 6 is the power, RST must lie between 0 and 6 and R plus S plus T is 6. That is anyway. Here we can take that R plus S plus T is equal to 6, 0 less than or equal to R comma S comma T less than or equal to 6. These two conditions of course here also they will follow. Now that is going to be 6 factorial by, let us simplify further, R factorial into S factorial into T factorial into B to the power of, if you take B power R we have as well as B power T we have. So B power R plus T we have into A power if you take A power S we have, A power T we have. So it is A power S plus T into, now let us take C. C if you take C power, here we have R and here we have S. So it is R plus S. Okay. Now, but what is required here? We need the coefficient of A cube, B power 5, C power 5. But we need the coefficient of A power 3, B power 4, C power 5. Therefore, if you compare there, so B power is R plus T, here B power is 4. So in the comparison we can get R plus T as 4. If R plus T is 4, we know that R plus S plus T is 6. If R plus T is 4, S will be 6 minus 4. That implies S is equal to 2. Next, if you take A coefficient here we have S plus T. S plus T is 3. S plus T is equal to 3. that is otherwise. So s plus t 3 means r will be 6 minus 3, that is 3. Next we have the third is c. C power r plus s. R plus s is 5 here. So r plus s is equal to 5. That implies here r plus s is 5. So t value we have 6 minus 5, that is 1. So we got the value of r as 3, s as 2, t as 1. Therefore, the required coefficient is equal to 6 factorial by r factorial. R factorial is nothing but 3 factorial into s factorial, that is 2 factorial, into t factorial, that is 1 factorial. 6 factorial is 720 upon 3 factorial is 6, 6 2s are 12. So that is going to be 60. So answer for this question is 60. Here also we are using multinomial theorem concept. We are taking the general term, thereby we are comparing the powers, and again we are taking the result that sum of the coefficients, sum of the powers must be equal to the multinomial power, and each r(st) must lie between 0 and the power of the multinomial. Fine. So the answer for this question is 60. So that is the first option. Now let us move to the next question, fourth question. What is it saying? If 4 plus root 15 whole power n is capital I plus f, where I comma n are positive integers are otherwise natural numbers, then 0 less than f less than 1. He is saying that f value is lying between 0 and 1. Then what is the value of capital I plus f into 1 minus f? It is not I, it is 1 minus f. Fine. Now let us start the solution for this question. So we have given I plus f as 4 plus root 15 whole power n, and again we are given that 0 less than capital F is less than 1. Let us assume, this time let us assume small f as 4 minus root 15 whole power n. We all know that root 15 is approximate to 3 point something, it is 3.9 something like that. So 4 minus root 15 is obviously a value more than 0 but less than 1. So here also we can say that 0 less than small f is less than 1. Okay, now let us add up I plus f plus small f. That is going to be 4 plus root 15 whole power n plus 4 minus root 15 whole power n. It is in the same way x plus y whole power n plus x minus y whole power n. So that is going to be 2 times of nc0 into 4 to the power of n plus nc2 into 4 power n minus 2 into root 15 whole square, that is nothing but 15 plus so on. Okay, here also all these terms will be, all these coefficients are positive, but whereas here plus and minus alternatively we have. So coefficients involving nc1, nc3, nc5 all will be cancelled. So now we have, this is again as 2 times of some integer value. So that is otherwise even integer.